Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to the next review for the next Steven Seagal directed video marathon. Moving on to the next one, which is another one of seven films he did in 2016. Like I said, 7 movies. Which is also although he's not, it says his name is on the cover though, but once again he's barely in the movie. He's not the star of the movie. So moving on to the next one, it was called Cartels, or goes by another name, Killing Salazar. Take your pick out which one you prefer to call it, Cartels or Killing Salazar. It doesn't matter, because you know what? This is yet another forgettable in one ear out the other movie, because you know it's like you forget within an hour. Like, I'm starting to already. I literally just watched this, like, I had to rewatch this like an hour ago or so, and I'm already starting to forget, which I don't blame myself, because most of Seagal's direct view movies are shit anyway. So, but Cartels or Killing Salazar. It's once again another film that's directed by this guy Keone Waxman, who's worked with Seagal on a lot of the ones, like with the Keeper, A Dangerous Man, Maximum Conviction, Force of Execution, A Good Man, Absolution. Then 2 more, which are after this one, which I'll have to cover after this: End of the Gun or Contract to Kill. I'm like, jeez, man. I mean, two of the films this guy directed, I did not mind with Steven Seagal. I mean, I did not mind Maximum Conviction, and I did not mind The Keeper. But the other ones I just were not good at all. This is not much better either. And other than Steven Seagal, you have Luke Goss. Luke Goss, who I mostly remember from starring in Blade 2. And then he was also in Hellboy 2, The Golden Army, as Prince Nuana. Prince Nuana. Yeah, They both the character has a sister. They both have both similar names. So, and of course he also appeared in the Death Race prequels. So, and of course he also appeared in another one of the Steven Seagal's films called, I forget what was it. Was it Kill Switch, or I forget though. Doesn't matter. I mean, he's tolerable, but his character is given not much to do. I mean, hell, the character of Salazar does more killing, more than Luke Goss does in this movie. And then you got UFC fighter George St-Pierre, which he's a bad guy in this, because the gist of it is that there's this drug lord by the name of Salazar, right? He is since he's a witness, and then a team of DEA agents led by Luke Goss, and they take refuge in this hotel, which they have to hold them for 24 hours, and just to wait there until bad guys led by George St-Pierre go in and try to kill them all, basically. And Steven Seagal, he comes in, sprinkle. For the beginning, because since it's Steven Seagal, they have to put him sprinkled throughout the movie instead of being at the beginning at the end, because a lot of times when you see him just sit interrogating Luke Goss, and a lot of this is told in flashback. Which, wait, was this? Are you trying to be similar to John Carpenter's Ghosts of Mars, where a lot of the characters, they tell their stories in flashbacks? which I say, John Carpenter's Ghost of Mars is a lot better than a lot of Steven Seagal's direct-to-video films. I can tell you that much right now. And I'm one of the very few people that likes Ghost of Mars, despite its flaws. It's like Ice Cube, you got Jason Statham, you know, working with director John Carpenter. Okay. Yeah, yeah, all this told in flashbacks. A lot of times it's Seagal present to the present where he's interrogating Luke Goss. And then, well, what Seagal does get there, he has some gunfights. He has some gunfights too, and I mean the action is, I would say, subpar. It's below average. You know, it's run of the mill action that we have not seen done a dozen times before. I mean, even Steven Seagal. I mean, like, since, you know, being the fat ass that he is, you know. I mean, when he fights with George St-Pierre, I mean, of course, it's gonna be one-sided because it's Steven Seagal, because he has to be invincible. That's what he has. That's what he has to be. Always has to be invincible. Always it's always a one-sided fight. So of course, we know that George St-Pierre, compared to this, he's much better shape than Seagal is. Of course, he probably could easily beat him. But no, this is Steven Seagal though. His part of his movies, he has to be invincible and defeat the impossible. I mean, there is even a scene where he gets in a fight with George St-Pierre. I mean, when they fall off this balcony, and like George St-Pierre, he gets up. He's a little beat, trying to be a little bit hurt, you know. But Steven Seagal, he just gets up and pretty much he's just fine. I mean, it's like that stupid shit in Black Widow. You know, the Marvel character spin-off, right? Where Scarlett Johansson, she falls like a bunch of buildings from the Taskmaster, and she gets up, she's perfectly fine, without a scratch. It's like same with Steven Seagal. He falls off the balcony. Like George St-Pierre, he's kind of like a little injured, but he gets up, he's totally fine. I mean, it's even more realistic with it's silly, which I said before. One of the things I didn't like about the ending of John Wick Chapter 3, even though I love the movie, it was a silly thing where it was just so silly where John Wick gets off the roof of the Continental, he's bouncing off like all the stuff that's on the sides of the buildings, he falls down. I mean, at least he doesn't get up right away, so he was hurt badly though, so he couldn't get up on his own. At least they did that though, but it was still silly, you know, seeing John Wick, you know, just being bounced off and then falling down to the ground. But even despite being injured like that, though, he's still invincible. And same with Steven Seagal, he gets up, he's perfectly fine, he's falling off the balcony. But yeah, this is, and I'm sick and tired of him talking in that razzy voice, and shave the freaking goatee, man. And then he wears the same old glasses he does in pretty much now those movies nowadays. Talking that razzy voice, you know, tired of it. You know, it's just sick and tired of this, you know, just. And then George St-Pierre, you know, kills most of Luke Goss's team, except for there's this one girl, and there's this agent, which turns out he's a corrupt agent. So, and then but Luke Goss has to protect Salazar. I mean, Salazar really does a lot more killing than Luke Goss does. I mean, Luke Goss isn't really given much to do. And so, well, maybe it's best if I start. Maybe if I fall asleep, I'll have to watch these movies ever again. But so there's not much to talk about. I mean, he's just killing more bad guys. I mean, Steven Seagal, he gets a couple of fights, gunfire. I mean, and ultimately, we get to the fight with George St-Pierre, one-sided, because like I said, Steven Seagal, he has to be invincible. And Salazar, the twist that the girl that was with Luke Goss, turns out that's Salazar's sister, which he didn't know about. So, for help protecting her brother. Salazar gives him this key. I think it's the key for some money. Yeah, where he hid, and he goes and rides off in a motorcycle, and Luke Goss does, and that's pretty much about it. I mean, the film is, like I said, it was in one ear, out the other. I mean, it wasn't much. Like I said, the action, the gunfights we've seen a million times in films. Nothing new. It's just below average. More than that. So yeah, it's just I mean, Luke Goss isn't given much to do for his character. I mean, like I said, the character Salazar does more kill counts than Luke Goss does. And George St-Pierre, he's not much of an actor. I mean, it was fine in that one scene where he fought Captain America and Steve Rogers and Chris Evans and Captain America, the Winter Soldier, in the beginning. You know, decent, a little fight. So. But George St-Pierre is not much of an actor, you know. So, but yeah, this is a much more shorter review because there's not much to talk about. Is this another Steven Seagal? He's not barely. Like, they have to put him like sprinkle throughout the movie of him interrogating, because otherwise he'll just be at the beginning or at the end. Once again, talking the Razzie voice again, which I'm tired of hearing. Well, at least there was no dubbing, for what I heard. There was no dubbing, thank God. I'm sick and tired of hearing that dubbing. At least there wasn't. So, yeah, Cartels or Killing Salazar, forgettable. Run-of-the-mill, cliche. And there's not much to it, so... Yeah, but Killing Wax, I mean, I didn't mind The Keeper or Maximum Convention. It's probably the better of those two films that this guy's directed with Seagal. Other than that, though, the film is pretty much a forgettable movie, like I said. So anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. And you'll see on the next... Steven Seagal review, and that's what it calls. Stay tuned for Code of Honor later.